Pope Francis visited the Cathedral of Trujillo on Saturday, after which he went to a seminary school and addressed priests, nuns and seminarians. Pope Francis later returned to Lima, where he will spend the day today before finally ending his South American trip and returning to the Vatican. Two people died and 9 were injured in a fire at a hotel in the center of Prague. The fire occurred at Eurostar's David Hotel near the Czech capital's National Theatre. The cause of the fire was not clear. Thousands of Romanians protested under heavy snowfall in Romania's capital, Bucharest, against high-level corruption. At least 50,000 people marched towards the parliament from the iconic University Square, the site of all major protests since 1989. Protesters blew whistles, waved flags and chanted themes. Tens of thousands of protesters protested across Romania. In December, the Social Democrats and their junior coalition partner ALDE used their solid majority to push a judicial overhaul through parliament despite strong criticism. The overhaul was challenged at the Constitutional Court and awaits a ruling. The alert for Mayon volcano in Alba, Philippines still maintains at a high level and will not be cleared as soon as the lava continues to flow. The local government has evacuated nearly 26,000 people, closed surrounding schools and prepared 10 days of relief goods for the evacuees. Mayon volcano has erupted 4 times over the past decade and is known for having one of the most perfect volcanic cones in the world. As Rohingya refugee leaders drop demands ahead of the upcoming repatriation, United Nations Special Rapporteur on Myanmar, Yang Hee Lee, visited a refugee camp in Bangladesh. Rohingya leaders at the refugee camp in Cox's Bazar district have drawn up a list of demands that they want Myanmar to meet before authorities start spending back hundreds of thousands in a repatriation process. The repatriation process is expected to begin next week and last for 2 years. Dozens of protesters gathered outside the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City to protest against U.S. President Donald Trump, marking the end of his first year in office. The protesters shouted slogans against Trump's immigration policies. As U.S. President Donald Trump completes a year in office, thousands of protesters turned out across the nation for the second Women's March. This year's demonstrators is being held in coordination with rallies planned for the weekends in Washington, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and about 250 other cities. Sister rallies are also planned in Britain, Japan, and other countries. The U.S. Senate and House of Representatives held rare weekend sessions on Saturday, this after lawmakers failed to pass a short-term budget resolution forcing the federal government into a shutdown. Democrats demanded to include certain measures, including protection for young immigrants. Senate Democratic leader gave a stinging portrayal of President Donald Trump as an unreliable negotiating partner. A spokesman of the Chinese embassy in the United States said that Cold War mentality and zero-sum game mindset would only lead to conflict and confrontation. The U.S. Department of Defense had on Friday rolled out its 2018 National Defense Strategy, saying that the U.S. military advantage has been eroding and is facing strong competition from other countries like China and Russia. The department also labeled the long-term strategic competition with China and Russia as the principal priorities. Now time to look at national stories from across India. A senior member of the highest decision-making body of Vishwa Hindu Parishad has said that VHP's international working president Praveen Togadia would be removed from his post for making remarks against the centre and Rajasthan governments. A class 12 student of one of the leading schools of Haryana's Yamunanagar shot his principal dead because he had not been recently suspended and expelled from the school. The principal was shot by the student in school premises. The critically injured principal was rushed to the hospital where she succumbed to her injuries. The Yogi Adityanath government is considering withdrawal of criminal cases against BJP ministers related to the 2013 riots in Muzaffarnagar. According to reports, Uttar Pradesh's Law Department had sent a letter to the district magistrate in the first week of January seeking his opinion if withdrawing the case would be the right step in public interest. Muzaffarnagar riots of 2013 left more than 50,000 homeless and left 63 people dead. A Supreme Court bench headed by Chief Justice Deepak Mishra will hear two PILs seeking an independent probe into the death of Judge B.H. Loya on Monday. The allocation of this case to a bench led by Justice Arun Mishra was one of the reasons behind the press conference by four most senior Supreme Court judges who claimed cases were being selectively assigned to certain benches. At the time of his death, Judge Loya was hearing the Sohrabuddin Sheikh case in which BJP Chief Amit Shah was an accused. Motorists and public bus users between South Bombay and Bandra are likely to face traffic restrictions. Motorists and public bus users between South Bombay and Bandra are likely to face traffic restrictions on important roads today due to the 14th edition of the Mumbai Marathon today. The traffic department has made several diversions to give unhindered access to roads to those participating in the marathon. The security agencies have conducted mock drills at Sri Guru Ramdas Ji International in Amritsar today morning. Police snipers, quick response team, bomb disposal and dog squads took part in the drill. The mock drill comes ahead of the Republic Day on January 26th. The Indian Army organized a medical camp in far-flung areas of Ladakh in Jammu and Kashmir. The medical team from Army provided treatment to the patients. Medicines were distributed to the patients free of cost. At least 17 people have been killed in a fire that broke out in a firecracker unit in Delhi's Bamana industrial area on Saturday evening. Delhi Fire Department officials said about 30 people working in the unit were trapped when the fire broke out. Chief Fire Office said the fire was of Category 4, but explosions took place inside the building, causing casualties.